Welcome to this conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus, where we offer valuable tips to small business owners and sole traders to improve their online and offline presence so you can reach a larger audience. Your hosts, as usual, are Narelle Wright. Narelle is an accessibility author. There's myself. I help women have the voice to be able to speak up and speak out. There's Lara Arden, who is our business awards coach, and of course, Jan Roach with Biz Connect Web Designs and Over 50s Health. Now, Narelle is going to be talking about the problems she solves within her business. Hey, ladies, it's great to see everyone online.
Hey, good to see you again.
How you doing? Lovely to see everyone. Oh, yeah. It's interesting when Janine, you suggest this topic, the first thing that I thought of is exactly what all you guys asked me. What can you see? Because you guys, and for people out there that don't know, I actually have no functional vision. And the first question everyone asks a person with a vision impairment is, what can you see? And the second question is, can it be fixed? And the third is always, oh, did you see on a current affair the other night there was this person? And it's really funny because what can I see? I see shapes. That's it. I had more vision when I first met you ladies. I don't now, and that's cool. How do I do it? Do I want to be fixed? No. You know what? I don't think people realize just what a wonderful world being vision impaired is. Because I meet people, I would never have met you ladies if I wasn't vision impaired.
Wow.
When you look at it that way, I would never have done the things I'm doing now if I didn't have a vision impairment. Do I want to fix it? No. When it first happened, I would have thought twice. But back then it was well, hang on, what was going to be the after effects? Because there was a 50-50 chance it could have been worse. And I thought, no, not going there. Just there's no point. Accept what you've got and move on. And then the next thing is people ask, well, how do you read? For me, I use audio. Now, Jan and Janine, I think you've seen it too, Lara, haven't you? The tools I use. So on my phone, I use a standard iPhone. I use a standard Windows 11 computer. There are tools. And I use all audio. So if I want to listen to the newspaper, I listen to the newspaper. And I can do it and go walking at the same time. Audio books. There's all the narration that you get, I use. However, for me, when I work, I use screen readers. A screen reader basically reads what is on the screen, reads the programming logic behind what you see. So if it's a Word document, they read the programming logic and they read it out to you. And it's the same with a website or any document, PDF, Excel. It really doesn't matter. PowerPoints. It can be made accessible. Canva can be made accessible. People just aren't aware it can be done. So when I thought I had to stop work, I thought I could never work again. And for me, and obviously Jan and Janine know, I don't sit still. I have this bit of a problem. I like to keep busy. And I discovered digital accessibility. And all digital accessibility is setting up good design, good document structure, so that everyone can hear it, whether you use a screen reader or a puff and sit tool, which is what's used by people that are quadriplegics, whether you've got to consider color blindness, dyslexia, audio processing issues, which means captions. There's so many things out there, people that are starting to lose their memory a little bit. They've got short-term memory loss. Some people always have short-term memory loss. Again, it's the same thing. And what we do is we use a digital standard, which is an Australian standard, it's a global standard, and we teach people how to implement it. And the moment it's implemented, suddenly, it doesn't matter what I'm hearing or doing, I can read the information. It is, and I have talked in the past on these podcasts about issues where, a vision impaired person giving something on a piece of paper. Well, it's not going to work. So really, all I'm talking about is good communication. And the questions I get asked always are, well, how much is it going to cost once we've talked about that? And my answer is, how many lost sales do you have? And they'll say, oh, we don't know. And I'll say, that's right. Who is your market? Do you know if your market is autistic, someone on the autistic spectrum? Are they colorblind? Are they someone like myself? Yeah, have you ever met them in person? Yeah, if you've never met a person face to face, you might not know if they come with a guide dog or they've got hearing aids, because obviously I can't hear, but hearing aids are quite hidden, aren't they now?
Mm.
My husband's just got them, Narelle, and they're
Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah, you don't know.
Thankfully, he's just got them, by the way.
Yeah, you don't know they're there. Or
Mm.
even like people where they've got very bad finger movement, they don't have that fine motor skills. You don't necessarily know it. Or, you know, people that are colorblind or dyslexic, they're not going to walk around with a big sign saying, I am colorblind or I am dyslexic or I can't read because I've got a visual processing problem. You don't know those things. You know, you just don't know what you don't know. And just implementing some simple techniques means it doesn't matter what you don't know. It does cost a little bit, but isn't the best things the things that give you the most productivity? Because that's also what we're talking about. They cost.
And it's the sort of thing that you do once you've got it set up, you've got it set up.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things sort of just get it done, and then
and
you've
then
got
just
it done.
you keep doing it. You don't stop
Yeah.
doing it. So it becomes like Control C for copy. It just becomes second nature. And the moment you do that, and it's not just that, I was at a thing the other day and someone said, and I thought, really good point. Every kid at school, instead of learning Japanese or Indonesian or something like that, they need to learn Auslan, sign language.
Yeah.
Because it's another language and they need to learn Braille. Because the moment they've got those two languages, Braille helps everyone.
Yeah.
Because all your lift buttons have Braille on it. All your, Braille's everywhere. People just don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I don't really well either.
When clients have worked with you and that they've made their websites and their documentation digitally accessible, what difference does that make to what feedback have you had from those people?
Maintenance-wise on websites, much easier. They are better SEO because accessibility is in the SEO algorithm calculations. And Jan will be able to, give more on that. I don't know. I just know it's there. But it's down to being able to communicate better, having clearer, more concise communication in your digital products. That people aren't going and looking for your mobile phone number because it's in such small font that you can't read it. It's there. It's visible. And it's visibility. It's just bigger target market because suddenly there's a lot more people that you can talk to because they can find your information. It's just really simple stuff. And there's all the ethical stuff. There is. But one other thing is the moment it's there, you are meeting the Disability Discrimination Act 1992 guidelines. And people forget that. This also brings down your risk management strategies, your risk compliance. And Janine, you're much more across that than I am. I know from an IT point of view, I know the basics from the business point of view, but I don't know the in-depth. But the basics are that you can be sued for discrimination. If a person cannot read your website, you can be sued for discrimination. And so, there's so many good things with it. You can never quantify lost sales. You can't. All you know is someone didn't stay on your website for long, and you don't know why they didn't stay on your website. Most people with disability are very accepting that there is limitations and they can't do things, so they just move on.
Narelle, do you know the percentage of people in the population with a disability?
4.4 million people in Australia in 2018. Of that, 1.3 million are hearing impaired. And off the top of my head, I can't remember, 13 million people in Australia, 2018 statistics, had some form of vision impairment. That can be just standard short-sightedness as well. It's not necessarily like me. Excuse me. I think it's something like 500,000, 600,000 have really severe vision problems.
But see, it all even comes down to, you know, if you're at a restaurant and they've got a printed menu,
Yeah.
you can't read it.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing, I was at a restaurant here where I live, and I use some OCR tools, or they basically read the menu. And they'd put the menu up on the website, and I thought, oh, beauty, I'll go into that. It would only read the left-hand side of the menu. Wouldn't read the right-hand side. When you go to a restaurant, have a look next time. The left-hand side of the menu has all the cheaper options. I might have chosen from the right-hand side, but I couldn't read it, so I didn't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just all these little things that people aren't aware of. It's like I had to go and get some money out, and the machine was touch screen only. I couldn't do it. You know, it's just another little thing that people just aren't aware of. And so often I have to tell people what my PIN number is. If I've got no options, I've got no options. That's why I love PayWave. I don't have to tell people my PIN number.
Yeah.
You know, the card stays in my hand. It doesn't go out of my hand. You know, I don't like telling people my PIN number.
Yeah.
No.
Or-
So I think it's against the law, right? Well, against the banking regulation as well to do so.
But we've got no options. If you can't see the machine, can't use the touch screen, what options have you got?
So your software that reads documents, can it read all documents, or do they need to be set up in a certain way?
They need to be properly designed. You know, we look at contrast, the difference between the foreground and the background color. Like a really good example of good contrast is, it's in the middle of the screen, isn't it? Our sign, the morning tea marketing missus.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That is really good contrast. It's nice and clear. We look at typeface, we look at the size of the typeface, we look at reading order, we look at, can something be accessed by keyboard only, to cater for those people that have got really, you know, like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, things like that, where they can't use a mouse. Or maybe they can use a mouse, but they can't use a keyboard because of the problems with their hands. Or they could, you know, there's so many different reasons. So a website or a document needs to be able to be accessed by a keyboard only, a mouse only, or touch screen only. Has to be. And it has to be in a correct reading order. And there's 4 principles that we work to: perceivability, which is all the elements on the document, tables, everything, and how it's built, the color, the contrast, the reading order, you know, video, the fact that videos don't start automatically. That's a quick way to get me off your website. You have a video or a sound that starts automatically, I'm out of there straight away. I won't stay on it. Moving things that move really quickly, because that can give people epilepsy, physical seizures. There's so many little things. And we look at operability, which is how we access the information. Another really big one is understandability, the language and how you construct it. And Lara, I mean, you with your awards and things like that, that'd be something you'd have to be really aware of, the use of words. And Janine, you too, and how you put the words together. But it's looking at, you know, the levels and acronyms and abbreviations and all types of things. Even being able to know what language the document's written in is important, whether it's English or French or Italian or Japanese or whatever. That's important. Then we look at the last one's robust, that you can look at it on a mobile or a laptop or by touch only, and you get the same information. You need to be able to get the same information all the time. Because if you don't, you're automatically not meeting the standard, which does result in you not meeting the Disability Discrimination Act 1992.
This is a topic that we've covered it, you know, a lot and touched on a lot over the last 18 months with our conversations. And I know we could get a lot more in depth. Has anyone got anything to add or ask Narelle before we wrap up?
Add,
I
because you
just
guys are used to me.
I'm curious, Narelle, because I've got Kate Smith, lovely Kate Smith, graphic designers,
Love
working
Kate
on my
Smith.
branding at the moment because I'm
Mm.
rebranding. And so then I was watching a webinar presentation recently, learning about PowerPoint, and also discovered in there about how you've got to make sure that everything's accessible as well, and
Yep.
and exactly what you're saying. And it makes sure that the contrast there is good for the colors, that it's legible, and that even if people are colorblind, you're not putting, like two colors together that'll make it
Yep.
really hard for some people
Yep.
to read, all those sorts of things. And so then I'm just curious then, like for me, if I'm putting together PowerPoint presentations, is it a matter of me sending them to you and just asking for your feedback? Where have I missed something to
Yeah.
make this more accessible? Is that
Yep. We're
how?
really happy. Yeah, we're really happy to do that. Or it could be you say, I've got a website, I need to incorporate it in. We educate people on how to do it.
Yeah.
We work with developers, digital marketers, whoever, to make sure their work is accessible. Again, we train as we go because we really want people to know how to do it. We want to put ourselves out of business, to be honest, because the sooner we put ourselves out of business, the sooner we can retire. But we've got to educate people. And the
Yeah.
more education, the more people know, the more it becomes second nature. Because let's face it, the pram ramps you use at the traffic lights, everyone expects them now, don't they?
Yeah,
Mm,
true.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely. And I know that people can reach out to contact Narelle in regarding to getting an audit and looking at
Yeah.
each of your documents and websites. And I
Yeah.
encourage people to do exactly that. I think it's such an important part of how we do business.
Yeah.
Thank
it
you,
is.
Narelle. That's really valuable information because I know over the last 18 months it's given me food for thought, really that consideration on a whole lot of aspects. Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
definitely.
Thanks.
And that's another conversation of the Morning Tea Marketing Missus. Thank you so much for joining us and listening in. And remember to get in touch with Narelle, and also on our YouTube channel, reach out, say hi, and let us know what you've learned or what you've enjoyed. We look forward to you joining us next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.